we got a caller on the line here. He's somebody from North Nevada. Who is this? Hello? Somebody
Hello.
from North...
This is Neil Schulman.
Oh, Neil Schulman.
Hey, Neil.
Hey, Neil. How's it going, Neil?
Good. I have to tell
Wow.
you, the reason I called in is because I got invited to listen to this show, and spending 10 minutes on the web trying to figure out a way to listen to it turned out to be impossible, so I had to call in.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Welcome to the table, Neil.
Good, but I'm happy to be there with you guys.
Of course, we're so glad to hear from you.
So, Norm, good to be listening to you.
Good to hear your voice, Neil.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people listening know about this, but Norm has been very, very kind to the Alongside Night Project in a number of different ways. I believe that he was, I don't believe, he was the one who got Ron Paul to endorse the 30th anniversary edition and got me on his on the Ron Paul channel show to talk about the movie.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen the movie yet, I recommend checking it out. I think you will enjoy it if you're at all sympathetic to these ideas.
Right. I'm glad that you brought this up, the movie, Neil, because, I would like to, bolster a lot of interest to bring your movie to Michigan, to the AMC theater here. Mm-hmm. And if I can lobby to do that, that would be fantastic. But I hear that your movie has already been released months ago. And
let me give you guys sort of an update here. I mean, the movie is registered with the tug.com system, which means that anybody who wants to promote it can bring it to a local theater, and if they could sell somewhere between, I don't know, the minimum is usually somewhere around 70 tickets, something like that, and then the screening happens, and if you can't sell the 70 tickets, the screening doesn't happen. And we recently added a non-theatrical thing also through Tug, that if you want to bring it to a college campus or to a church or a meeting or something like that, you could do the same thing. You could show it that way. But what we're trying to do right now is we have an Indiegogo campaign to raise $100,000 to be able to put it in like 20 cities. And the libertarian movement, the movement being what it is, we've raised under $500 so far.
Oh, man.
And, here you have this, this movie, this Gosnell movie about this abortion doctor, and they managed to raise production funding on Indiegogo over $2.25 million in no time at all. And here I'm trying to raise my measly $100,000, and it's like, WTF.
Wow.
Wow.
What is the solution, do you think, Neil, at this stage?
Well, the solution is that some big organization has to get behind it and commit. I mean, what we're really talking about is the rental cost for a theater is usually for a week is somewhere around $5,000, and if you figure at $10 a ticket, that's 500 tickets. So if we could get 500 tickets sold in 20 different cities, we have our theatrical run. Now the good news is that we've made a deal for the movie to come out in 2015 on DVD, Blu-ray. But, if we're hoping to get this movie into Walmart and Redbox and Costco and all those other sorts of stores, it really helps these stores to order if you can get it into theaters, on a general release first. So, this is the quandary we're in. We're not. It's like we're in between right now. A few years from now, it'll be possible to make a movie and stream it on the web and make your money back that way. We're not there yet. And so we're still in that in-between period when the old Hollywood studio model only works for, super mega-budget movies, and independent films don't have really access anymore. And on the other hand, the new media isn't supporting us yet.
Well, Neil, I just wanted to add one more thing. My name's Mark Daniels, and I'd like to extend the same offer that Todd offered, to do anything I can here in my state of Arkansas to bring the movie here. And you mentioned a website earlier. Where is the best place for people to go where they can really get involved and help promote this movie?
Okay, well, everything starts on the official movie website, AlongsideNightMovie.com. And you go to alongside-that-movie.com, and there's two buttons. One takes you to the Indiegogo campaign, and the other one takes you to Tug, where if there isn't already a screening set up, you can host one and set it up. But I have to tell you, a lot of people have set up screenings and then set back and thought it was going to sell itself, and it doesn't work that way. I mean, you really have to do the marketing and promotion to be able to sell the 70 tickets for the screening to happen.
Wow! Thank you for divulging allowing me to ask those questions, Todd. Thank you.
I really want to say that this is a worthwhile project. I think I've been glad to play a small part in it. It's a great book. If you haven't, for those of you who haven't read it, I think the movie you'll really enjoy it. For those of you who saw earlier this year the movie God Is Not Dead, the actor who played the atheist professor, who was Hercules in the 80s, is in it. And
I've been meaning to get a copy of that movie, by the way. So
what Norm is talking about is Kevin Sorbo.
That's the same. Thank you. I forgot his.
Yeah, and actually it was not the 80s, it was the 90s. Hercules. 90s. Hercules' Legendary Journeys was worldwide the #1 TV series ahead of Baywatch. And it was, like this worldwide hit for around 7 years or something like that. Right. And then also Xena was a spin-off of that. But then, Kevin went on to do a lot of independent films, and then one of them, earlier this year, really hit. A movie called God's Not Dead, had a lot of backing from Christian evangelicals. God, if only the libertarian movement would support his movies the way that Christian evangelicals support their movies. But I mean, this movie made dollars. Christians streamed to it, and it earned over $60 million at the domestic box office.
I think that it's important to support, do what we all can to support these types of projects. And I don't like to tell people, like Ron Paul, I don't like to tell people what to do to promote liberty, but I believe that the late conservative Tea Party rabble-rouser, and I mean that as a compliment, Andrew Breitbart, was onto something when he said culture is upstream from politics, that the movies we watch, the TV shows we watch, the books and images that we receive from pop culture matter a lot more than just how people entertain themselves, because they do shape or can shape people's political opinion. So I think that if a movement, everybody tries to do what you can to support artists and filmmakers, and also, by the way, if a young person comes to anybody out there and says, I want to do something to advance liberty, but I don't want to go into politics or political activism, what should I do? I mean, maybe suggest to them that they follow Neil's path instead of being the umpteenth libertarian blogger out there, because think about it. What does the movement need? How could the movement benefit from a libertarian Michael Moore or a libertarian Oliver Stone?
And I'm almost fat enough to be a libertarian Michael Moore.
No,
but seriously, I mean, you listen to Fox News, and you have a discussion on the Five in which the brightest thing that Andrea Tantaros can say about some college professor, who's coming out with leftist things that she doesn't like, is let's have a tax. Well, there goes, let's tax this professor for expressing anti-American ideas. Well, there goes the First Amendment, and when even as a joke, it's a fascist statement. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Even as a joke, it's a fascist statement. And the point is, there's a lot of people and who are so wedded to the political process that they'll support historians and they'll support economists and they'll go to all these academic conferences. But the mistake that libertarians and conservatives have made forever is that they don't understand what Breitbart said. And that is one of the ways that the left has gotten as far as it has, is because they actually support their artists, their filmmakers, their writers, their musicians.
And you know what? I completely agree with you on just about everything you said, Neil. In fact, I think that what you've been doing as far as advancing liberty through filmmaking is fantastic. I mean, I remember you and I, Norm, we were having a discussion about, I think it was several years ago, if I'm not mistaken, that, look at Buffy and Angel, for crying out loud. Angel being, in many ways, the most libertarian show because of the libertarian themes in that show. And you even noted it on Lou Rockwell, on his blog.
Right. And of course, after that, the creator of those shows created Firefly, which was...
Right.
Yeah, Firefly, the most libertarian show ever made by a non-libertarian.
Right, and then of course this year we did have the anti-NSA movement reflected in Captain America, the Winter Soldier movie, where even the one of his early lines when he's shown the Shield's new drone/universal spying program. This isn't freedom, this is fear. I mean, that sounds like something from Ron Paul's debate with Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich in 2012.
And it's paradoxical, but Hollywood has absolutely no idea putting libertarian ideas in their movies, just so long as it's not a libertarian who's putting it in there.
Right. It's mind-boggling. So how is the movie doing so far, Neil? I mean, how much money has it made so far? I mean,
right now even though we've had over a dozen individual screenings, I mean, we're really so few people have seen it at this point. I mean, in 2013 we brought it out for a series of previews at libertarian conferences and conventions and a few science fiction conferences. And a few people saw it there. And then in 2014, starting in spring of this year, we've had we've had over a dozen individual screenings around the country. But right now, so few people have seen it. We're really still in pre-release, and that's why I'm really hoping to try to come up with some way to get it out into general theaters. The general commercial Hollywood distributors universally said no to us. The film festivals, usually controlled by the same people, said no to us, and we didn't have the money the Atlas Shrugged people had to distribute it ourselves. So really, we're in a situation right now where we'd really like to get it out into theaters in more of a way than the individual screenings, to support the release in 2015 of the DVD and Blu-ray, and hopefully it'll get on DirecTV and Comcast and Netflix and all that sort of thing eventually. So, I mean, eventually people are going to see this thing, but if we want to get any push behind it, there needs to be, more of an enthusiastic support from the libertarian movements and from the, not to put too fine a point on it, Norm, but the Ron Paul movements, the Campaign for Liberty and Young Americans for Liberty. If we could get enthusiastic support not only from those organizations but Students for Liberty and Freedom Works and a lot of the same organizations that gave support to the Atlas Shrugged movie,
right,
and also to Dinesh D'Souza's movies, we'd have a chance of doing that. But right now that support has not materialized.
Well, let's get down to brass tacks, if I may, for just a moment, because first of all, I want to tell you, Neil, that you're a lot better looking than Michael Moore. Okay. Now, and then secondly, I wanted to say that I know I've got some libertarian friends with deep pockets. And I bet there's a whole lot of other people that know some libertarian friends with deep pockets. I have a theory about why people aren't giving, and I think that what has happened is the majority of people within the Libertarian Party are not people with deep pockets, but they're people with deep hearts and deep souls, and they give of their time and their energy. I think they can do a lot more to support culture and art, though, and so I encourage every libertarian out there listening tonight. And
again, you're putting your finger on it. We have a lot of people who are enthusiastic about the movie, particularly those who have seen it.
I'm enthusiastic about the movie. I can't wait to see it, I mean, Kevin Sorbo at his best, I mean, this is fantastic.
Well, it's not only Kevin Sorbo. We actually put together, a really kick-ass cast for this thing. Not only Kevin Sorbo, we've got Jake Busey from Starship Troopers in Contact playing the President of the United States. We have
and also in the first season of From Dusk Till Dawn, which just came out on Blu-ray just recently.
Right.
He was
we have a couple of high-profile actors from Star Trek Voyager. We have Tim Russ and Garrett Wang. Tuvok and Ensign Kim from the Voyager series. We have Gary Graham from Alien Nation. We have Saeed Faraj, who played opposite Matt Damon in Green Zone. We have Mara Marini from Parks and Recreation. She played the adult film star Brandy Max on Parks and Recreation. And we have Valence Thomas, who was in Men in Black 3. So in other words, we have a lot of actors who, with a lot of experience behind them, and then we have a bunch of actors I've worked with previously, and then some newcomers. So I mean, in terms of what we put on the screen for what I hate to call a low budget, thing, but realistically, when you're out of Hollywood, that's really what you're dealing with. We put together an action adventure movie that goes well beyond what you would expect for the amount of money we spent on it.
Right.
Including, by the way, and I love saying this, a full orchestral score recorded by the National Symphony Orchestra of Ukraine. And
wow.
How is that?
Wow. That I tell you what, there's no reason why everyone should not want to support this movie and do everything they can to make sure it's a huge success.
Well, thank you.
Neil, would you be able to bring this movie to Dave's home state of Texas? I mean, I think you would probably be interested in seeing this movie yourself, wouldn't you, Dave? Oh, I think...
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that it would be great if the movie come to Texas.
Well, it's played in Texas a couple of times. We played in Austin. We played in Dallas.
When?
Well, if you look on the past events, if you click through from the AlongsideNightMovie.com website to TUG, and then you simply scroll down, it shows you the previous screenings.
I'll take a look for it.
Wow, Jim, do you have any questions you want to ask Neil?
Well, first I wanted to say I was excited to hear that you had Kevin Sorbo because I was a big Andromeda fan, so that was awesome. And I was wondering if you guys have been able to get any public appearances or anything through any of the Comic-Con type events going on around the country.
Not Comic-Cons, but when Kevin was at AwesomeCon in Washington, D.C., we managed to have some of the Alongside Night graphic novels at his table. And you see, Alongside Night is not just the original novel. At this point, it's not the movie. We've got a graphic novel, which is getting some attention. We have an audio book. We've gotten into a number of different forms, and so we do get out there. But again, and also we've had a lot of publicity. I mean, we had this movie on ABC's On the Red Carpet when they came to Kevin Sorbo's home and profiled him and showed clips from the movie. As I said, I was on the Ron Paul channel with Ron Paul. Ron Paul interviewed me and talked about the movie and told people to go out and see it. Both Kevin and I did separate appearances on Alex Jones' InfoWars, and
I saw that one. Yeah,
I did the Rick Amato show. I did a local show in Vegas. Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, it's not like we haven't gotten publicity on it. We've gotten out there in a big way into the major media. But again, the trick is to have the movie in the theaters when you're getting this attention. And so far we're still, as I say, almost in pre-release.
What's the major roadblock right now? Is it that people need to go to Indiegogo and make a contribution? Would that be the best thing people can do to help right now?
Yeah, but I mean,
there's so many other things I know.
The numbers required. I mean, this is $100,000 or nothing. And so, what you were talking about sympathetic deep pockets. I mean, really, if there's somebody who wanted to sponsor the distribution, $100,000 is not beyond either a lot of individuals or a lot of organizations. But somebody's got to do it. You got to have the right person. This movie, Pat Heller, has put a lot of money into making the movie and publicity. But but this next step of distribution is just one more thing we need a little extra outside support on.
Right.
I wish organizations like Cato and Reason were as supportive of movies as they are of economists and historians and and supporting economics departments. I mean, they see and the funny thing is, somebody like David Koch, spent. I can't even imagine how much money he spent. It was in the millions and millions of dollars to support the renovation of Lincoln Center. But when it comes to supporting libertarian artists, that doesn't happen.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. I wish, I even wish groups like and you mentioned Reason. I wish Reason.tv would have more of a stronger focus on this. I
have got no complaints with Nick Gillespie and Reason TV because he sent out a couple of his. First of all, he interviewed me about the Alongside Night very early on. I think it was in 2010 or 2011 for Reason TV. And then he sent out a couple of his reporters and units to do interviews with both Kevin Sorbo and myself when we had our red carpet in Beverly Hills on July 14th. They haven't had it up yet, but nonetheless, that's in the pipeline. But you're right. There should be something like Reason TV, to be able to get into the theatrical end, and be more of a player in the entertainment end of this. And there doesn't seem to be anything in the libertarian movement to do that.
Well, how about the independent show on Fox Business?
I spent an hour talking with Camille Foster at the Libertarian Party convention and gave him copies of the DVD and the book and the graphic novel and of course, I think I ran into Kennedy at least briefly at a Freedom Fest a couple of years ago. But again, they haven't had me on to talk about it, and that's disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
Fox News is a tough nut to crack. On the other hand, Andy Levy had Kevin Sorbo on to talk about Alongside Night on Red Eye.
Which is on one hand, great for you because it actually opened the door. It cracked open that door so that people can get a glimpse of what your movie is all about. But at the same time, they really didn't invite you onto the show to talk about it, and
if there were a way to set it up, I would be willing to license to show the movie on either Fox News or Fox Business. I think it would just be awesome for that audience if they were to play the entire movie on one of those channels. But how do you make a deal like that?
Yeah. That would be fantastic. But when the movie, once you try to get some kind of backing, and Neil, I will definitely back you. I will come up with money. I don't care how I do it. I will see to it that your movie reaches from one end of the country to the other, even globally. In what shape, form, or whatever, I will do it. And you know what? I will gladly ask for a Blu-ray copy when it comes out.
Well, thanks. And that will be if things go according to track somewhere before June of next year.
Wow, looking forward to that as well. And that's easy to share then.
And if you could, I would be glad to, get if it's okay with you, I would love to, and if it's all the same, I would love to air a teaser of your film on this channel to promote it, and to if that's okay with you.
Well, actually, if you go to YouTube right now. Our teaser trailer actually plays pretty well, audio only.
Oh, okay. So I will definitely do an audio. Okay, that'll be great. But how's the graphic novel selling? I mean, I had no idea there was a graphic novel out already, and now that you've piqued my interest in it, I want to get a copy of that graphic novel.
Yes,
easily done. Because everything we do in terms of the novel or the graphic novel or the audiobook, it's all on Amazon.com. And we've for digital copies, we've marked it down to practically nothing. As a matter of fact, I believe that if you buy the I think it's that if you buy the novel or something like that on Kindle, which is like $2.99, I think that you get the audio book for another $2 or something like that.
Wow, that is so inexpensive. Thank you.
Yeah, and the graphic novel is also a Kindle edition for very very cheap also.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic.
Very affordable for everyone. Everyone.
Again, I just, it's. I've been asked, Neil, if you want people to watch this movie, why don't you just stream it on the web? And the answer is, I would love to if there was some way to get my investor's money back. But my job is that if I don't get him his money back, nobody's going to want to finance my next movie, and I'm dead in the water.
Right.
Have you actually looked into, what is the state of the film right now as it is? Is it really stuck in going on the libertarian circuit? Is it, have you gotten...
Right now, anybody in the United States can go into TUG, again, linked from the AlongsideNightMovie.website, simply click on the link to find theaters. And anybody who wants to can find a local theater and put it in it, or arrange for a screening, for a club or a group or a college class or something like that. That's all set up. It's turnkey. It's painless. The only thing is that you have to actually be able to come up with, either the minimum number of ticket sales in terms of putting it into a movie theater, which again averages around maybe 70 tickets sold. You got to be able to find 70 friends or a campus organization or something that's willing to do that, and it's been done, so it can be done. Or if you're going to put it into on a college campus for a screening or a group or something like that, I think TUG has a minimum charge of around $300 or something like that to do it. But again, it'll be easier to show it, to friends once the DVD or Blu-ray is out next year. In the meantime, however, if we want this movie to be outreach, if we want it to be on the shelves in Walmart and Best Buy and Target and in Redbox, and eventually be showing on video on demand on DirecTV, Comcast, something like that, we have to have some sort of theatrical presence first, and that's the trick, and we're hoping to do that, but we need some sort of institutional support, which hasn't materialized yet.
Now, when it does come out on DVD and Blu-ray eventually, will you autograph my copy for me, Neil?
Oh, done deal. Done deal.
Well, I'm going to have to jump in here and ask for the same thing, okay?
Oh, it's my pleasure. I live for that sort of stuff.
Of course. Well, Neil, I tell you what, the movie could have no better promoter than you, and I'm assured that you have a promotion department that is working with you, right?
Yeah, we have a top Hollywood publicist working with us, Levine Communications.
Right. Well, I don't know if there's anything. I don't know if it would help, but one suggestion that I would have, if you don't already, is to have an action button on your website, and where you can create a page where you can put down line by line the things that they can do to help get this movie out there in the mainstream.
Actually, it's all there.
Cool.
Everything that anybody would need is linked from the AlongsideNightMovie.com website.
I'm not surprised at the professional that you are that is the case.
Including, by the way, you simply click from the homepage on videos. That takes you to our YouTube list, which has all of the videos on there, the trailers, the teaser trailers, the music videos, the interviews, and some outtakes from the movie, including a full Adam Kokesh speech, which he delivered, the only used part of in the movie.
I love Adam, man. It's been so beautiful to watch his spiritual growth over the last several years and to see where he is now. I just read his article at, what is that website? Personal Liberty. or libertybriefing.com.
Yeah.
Libertybriefing.com.
And by the way, as long as we're doing plugs here,
go.
Jordan Page, who toured with
yeah, I love him too.
he does a song in our movie, and again, we have that video on YouTube, and we also have it in the movie itself.
Wow. That's fantastic. What about Kickstarter? Try to get some backing through, say, fans of the book and everything to get this movie, just to pay for the rental spaces and everything for.
Well, Kickstarter is more restrictive than Indiegogo in the sort of campaigns they do. Kickstarter will do a campaign to raise funds to make a movie, but it's outside their purview to do it to distribute a movie, which is why we went to Indiegogo.
What's the logic behind that?
It's just the way they're set up. On the other hand, Indiegogo is fine for what we need to do. If we had the thousands of people coming to the campaign that we need, but again, what makes an Indiegogo campaign go viral? One Indiegogo campaign go viral and another one not? Is I'm not enough of an expert on social media to know.
Right. Anybody have any other questions for Neil?
Well, I just wanted to tell Neil I'll send you a private message on Facebook, and if there's anything that I can get involved with to help you, I'll be glad to do that.
Well, again, thank you. And again, right now, the campaign that we would like to do right now, and if I'm talking to people who can listen here, this is what I'm trying to do. If we can come up with $5,000 to rent a screen in 20 different cities, which comes up to $100,000. And there are people who are willing to actually go. If we can get 500 tickets sold in each of those cities, well, then we've done what we need to do to give the support to the distributor of the DVD and Blu-ray to be able to get that into the big box stores like Walmart. So that's our plan.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, I've got a few people in mind right now that I'll be calling tomorrow.
Well, thank you.
Oh,
You're
well,
quite welcome.
No, and I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, Neil. But, what if it was more than that? Say, more than $100,000 that you've raised or whatever. Whatever you raise is on top of the cutoff point where you raise $100,000 for that rental space in those 20 cities. What if you raise more than that?
Well, we could do one of two things. We could either add additional cities, or we could do additional promotion for the cities we're going to be in.
Okay, that makes sense.
May I ask one more question of Neil? Are you open like for other investors as well, or are you just taking donations?
No, I mean,
if someone wants to invest,
investor who wants to come. That basically distribution is you used to have two parts to it called P&A, which is prints and advertising. Well, nowadays with digital distribution, the print part is almost nothing. A couple of $100 per theater, and it's really a matter of simply being able to sell the minimum number of tickets to make it worthwhile. Again, if it costs us $5,000 to rent a theater for a week, then basically that $5,000 has to be covered by ticket sales, which is somewhere in the area of around 500 tickets to $10 a piece. Those are the raw numbers.
Right. How about you, Dave? Jim, Norm, any other questions you have for Neil?
Well, if I could ask Norm a question. I mean, Campaign for Liberty has been, pretty well, I guess, focused on political campaigns. Is it really outside the purview of an organization like CFL to get involved in something like this?
I'm not sure. I have to take that up with my. But one thing, I mean, we have promoted it on our blog, and
you wrote a wonderful article about it.
To continue to do that, actually, because I think that it's valuable. One thing we haven't really touched on is that this is valuable outreach material, which I
feel that movies and graphic novels and novels are ways to reach the millennial generation.
Right.
I think far more than political campaigns. Particularly now that Ron Paul isn't a candidate.
Right.
Right.
Right. And it's gonna and I think this avenue that you're talking about, Neil, is going to be more of a successful platform than, say, one for Rand Paul, who is most likely going to run as a GOP candidate for president in 2016. But, that goes without saying, of course. Now, I guess what really comes down to it, how has the feedback been so far? I mean, has it been overwhelmingly positive?
We've had some very enthusiastic screenings, with audiences very enthusiastic and whooping and hollering at the end of the movie, and I was there to see some of that. Kevin Latchford, who's one of our producers, he says that every time he shows the movie, he gets enthusiastic response. But again, we're in a almost pre-release situation where so few people have seen it. It's really hard to get a general idea.
Right.
Now
anybody out there who's listening, please, I'm begging you. I'm going to get on my hands and knees and beg you, please, go see Neil's movie alongside Night. It's got Hercules in it. It's got a number of amazing actors, Garrett Wang in it as well, and
take your family and friends. This is a family movie.
Well, we're PG-13. I want to be clear about that. PG-13.
Well, a family. Yeah.
Which means there's some stuff in there you don't want to bring the young children to.
Yes, of course.
But I've seen the trailer. I've seen some of the clips and everything. Neil, from what I've seen so far, it looks great. It looks awesome. I am very, very stoked.
Well, thank you. And by the way, there is one upcoming. Actually, I'm looking on the TUG event page right now. There's one screening that I know that is going to happen on October 23rd in Spokane, Washington, which is at the AMC River Park Square 20 theaters, 8:30 p.m. on October 23rd. There is a screening which has not yet been confirmed because not enough tickets have sold yet in Evansville, Indiana, October 21st at the AMC Evansville 16. That's pending because, again, there haven't been enough tickets sold to guarantee it yet. And then there's one November 3rd in Denver, Colorado, 7:30 p.m., AMC Cherry Creek 8. Again, awaiting enough ticket sales to guarantee it to happen.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
But again, if it's not playing at a theater near you listening in the audience, you can simply go on that same page and you can host a screening. But again, you got to figure out a way to sell the 70 tickets if you're putting it in a theater, or it doesn't happen.
Right. So, if when there's the old saying, when there's a will, there's a way.
I agree. And by the way, we just did up a brand new poster, which I love, which has Kevin Sorbo on there, and the tagline to the movie is "Freedom is not dead."
That's nice. That's nice.
Nice.
No, it's not dead. And fear not, the end is near, and the new beginning.
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I love your presence, Neil. You're such a beautiful spirit, and anyone that doesn't just fall in love with you and your movie is crazy.
Well, thank you so much. I love hearing that. That makes my day and raises my spirits.
Yeah, that's and same here, my friend. You're a fantastic fighter for liberty, and you're a fantastic spirit all the way around.
I've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah, and
well, you made my night tonight just calling in, and you made me forget about everything that troubled me. Just hearing your voice and sharing your passion.
Thank you.
And that's great. What was it like to work with Jake Busey, the actor? I mean,
he's such a cut up. I mean, he is just a delight to have around. But I have to tell you, my most embarrassing moment is when I'm directing him and I accidentally called him Gary.
Oh, what did he think of that?
He did not let me forget that for the rest of the shoot. You see, because I mean, I was also directing Gary Graham, so.
Right. And he's like, I'm never gonna let that down. So.
And that was one of those was my face red moments.
Oh wow. But I will say that I love Kevin Sorbo. He's honest. He's got a great spirit, and he commands a great presence on screen. And I think from what it looks like, he's going to do great. And if he doesn't win an Academy Award nomination for this, I'm going to stop watching Academy Awards before you know it.
Yeah, I don't think the Academy is quite looking at us for that.
Yeah, no, but that's okay, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll tell you, it would be nice if we got a Prometheus Award for it, but they don't usually focus on dramatic things and more literary.
Yeah, a Prometheus Award would be very special.
It would be great. But thank you so much for calling in, Neil. You've been fantastic. Keep up the great work. Keep me updated on the movie. I'll do what I can to help you, promote the film, and I think you're on your way. I think this is your gold mine.
Thank you so much. And pardon me, just one more thing. Make it a little easier to find your show on the web.
It's right now. Right now I have it on toddandrewbarnett.com. There's a link on there. It's not the best widget right now so far. I have to fix that. WordPress is not exactly the greatest platform, but it's good enough as far as I'm concerned. But you can do so at letlibertyring.blogspot.com. You can listen in to the widget. You can also call into the show directly at talkshoe.com. Find my show on there. Just do the search field for Liberty Cap Talk Live, and just come on, and just if you want to participate in the chat, you got to register with the system, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is.
Well, I'll be listening whenever I can figure out the widget.
Okay, so but anyway. Thank you so much for calling in, Neil. And
it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Okay.
Take it easy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, since
what a treat that was, huh?
That was a treat. That was a treat to have Neil on the show here. I will say this. He is just full of energy and whatnot. I will tell you this: I like his spirit, and he's
pure. He's pure spirit. Yeah.
Yeah. Please go see his movie on the net if you can. It's available, as Neil said, alongside Night. But better yet, help him get his movie into the movie theaters fast. If you can, I feel like I'm hosting the Jerry Lewis talk.
That is perfect. I love you, Todd.
I feel like I'm doing that. Please send in your donation to help the kids. No, I mean,
let me just say again, I think that where the liberty movement, the libertarian movement's made tremendous progress on most fronts in the past several years, but I do think that we're lagging behind in Hollywood, and I know that it's common for both political types and the more academics or writers to kind of look up their nose and say, that stuff is for the sheeple, but it does matter to it can have an impact on opening people's minds, and I would remind you that before the Ron Paul 2008 and 2012 presidential campaigns grew the liberty movement, particularly among the younger generation, the person who was most responsible for introducing people to libertarian ideas and Austrian economics was a novelist, Ayn Rand.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, so the history of our movement itself shows how works of fiction can have great real-world impact.
Right. And you know what? I think the left-wing intelligentsia in Hollywood is on the verge of collapsing because a lot of their content they're coming out with is, in every sense of the word,
worthless.
It's worthless. It's shit. I mean, it's really awful. But that's just how it is.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's a system, CYST, and it's dying.
Right.